differently than maybe you do when you're sitting watching TV or when you're reading a book or even when you're running the mile. And so we learn how to breathe. And that took a really long time, in all honesty. And even all through middle school and all through high school, we still work on how to breathe. And so we'd like to show you how we learn to what we call fill up the jar. So these are one of the breathing exercises that we really enjoy doing. Comment on you. That's just a way for us to be able to learn how we need to push the air and to make air go fast through our instrument to make the very best tone on all the instruments that we have here today. So that we call breathe in on 1 and sizzle for 7. Everyone actually, when I practice even now, I breathe in on 1 and I sizzle for 7. So that's something they'll be doing forever as a wind instrument player. And the next thing we did, the different kinds of instruments have different ways of producing a sound and warming up. So we'd like to start with the brass, showing you how they produce a sound and how they warm up. And Mr. Paget, who teaches the trombones and the percussion in the high school, and I think he had a concert like every night for the last 2 weeks, he would like to start with showing how the brass start to make a sound.
So sound is vibration, and for us, we have to vibrate our lips, and it gets amplified through our instrument. And right now, we're going to play on this instrument for you, so you can hear what the vibration sounds like there. That at home? Okay. Well, there's an extra thing that we get to do because we have to change pitch with our mouthpiece and with our buzz. So we're going to do some sirens now. 1, 2, 3.
Now the woodwinds make sounds in different ways for each of the woodwind instruments. And first we'd like to show you how the clarinets and the saxophone learn to make a sound. And for some of you, I'm sorry you listened to this a very long time at home. But it was important because they all have spectacular embouchures and they all have everything right here. And if they ask you also to go to the store and get them a milkshake so they can practice their milkshake face, that's for real. I did tell them to do that. So if you haven't yet, you may still be able to do that. So these are the clarinets and the saxophone and how we learn to make a sound on our mouthpiece. in the world because that is spot on in tune and excellent. So that sounds beautiful to me. I'm not sure what it sounds like to you. Now, next, the flutes make it sound in a very different way. And actually, the flute, I think, is by far the most difficult instrument to begin. And these ladies here have done an excellent job of finding the two most tricky things on the flute, and that's the high and the low sound. And so we call this exercise lip push-ups. And they're going to show you right now, lip push-up number 1. After everyone can make a sound on their instrument, we learn our first note. Oh gosh, I forgot the percussion. Yikes! I'm always doing that. We love you, percussion. We have one more instrument to show you, and that is our percussion section.
So percussion is a totally different piece because they don't do any of this wind breathing stuff. However, they do have to keep, what's our number 1 job? What?
Be a good timekeeper.
So they have to keep steady time. And so we spend a lot of time on that. And the other thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that we hold our sticks and our mallets the right way and have a good fundamental start. So you hear me saying palms flat, where's your fulcrum? And when we play, we want to make sure that both our hands sound the same. They sound even. So we're going to play a couple things for you, and you're going to see, you're just going to listen and see when they sound the same. We're going to hear some difference in their hands. We're going to do all right mallet 8 times on B flat. Good? Good. B flat 8 times. 1, 2, 3. So that was the volume of their right hand. Let's see what the volume of the left hand is. The same. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now we're going to alternate back and forth to see if you can hear any change. They're going to make sure they keep a nice steady time, and they're counting, right? 1, 2, right and left. Oh, how about that?
Okay, so now we're all going to play together. And we did this for the very first time on Monday, and it was the coolest thing because all the different instruments had never heard the other instruments play, and so all of a sudden we put the whole thing together. And this is basically page 1, number 1. These are the first songs, the first notes that we ever played as a group, and these are whole notes. And whole notes, band get how many counts? 4 counts. after whole notes, we moved on to half notes. And half notes, ladies and gentlemen, get how many counts? Two counts. So now we're going twice as fast. This is called half note rock. We also added some different notes. So you'll notice we have how many different notes? 3 different notes, and we now have half notes. This is half note rock. This is half note rock with the rock accompaniment. One, two, three, four. Then round about October, we found quarter notes. And quarter notes get how many counts, folks? One count. And since it was October and we were thinking Halloween sounds, we played this piece called Rising Rhythm, and all of a sudden we decided it really needed a creepy organ sound to go with it. So we have Rising Rhythms with a creepy organ sound. First we'll do it straight, and then we'll add the organ sounds. Creepy organ sound, rising rhythms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we'd like to give you a little glimpse of each of the instruments in the band. And so the first group will be our flutes. And they would like to play a piece called stepping stones.